Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, I have a very special guest with us today. And on this special show, we'll be talking about all things NFT, the metaverse, and also crypto. Please welcome, he's a photographer, concept artist, as well as a writer and DeFi ambassador. Please welcome Micah Ray. Hello, Micah. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm really excited about it. I kind of did some digging around to kind of see what you've been doing, and I just really like you're just really trying to expose a lot of people, and what I mean by people, everyday people, people like us, to the
Mhm.
space, and we need that. So any way that I can help, I'm here to be there.
Absolutely. Now, I want to go ahead and kick off this interview by asking that you're a DeFi ambassador. So, what is DeFi and what is a DeFi ambassador?
Okay, so decentralized finance is what DeFi stands for. And the best way that I explain decentralized finance, imagine that there's no one controlling the bank. So, say you wanted to get a business loan and you walk in the bank. All your paperwork's in order, but you have 8 tattoos, you got twists in your hair, and they're looking at you like, I don't know if this is somebody we should give money to. Even though everything on the paperwork is all in order, it's up to
Mhm.
some bank manager or something to look at you and go, are we going to loan them this money for the business? Are we going to help facilitate the growth of this enterprise? And oftentimes, personal things get in the way of decision making. Sometimes even prejudice, racism, all kind of things, the optics of all that. When you talk about decentralized finance, it is fair because it is a technological system that everyone can use, and as long as everything is aligned with the technology, you can do anything you want. You can enter any liquidity pool. You can do anything with your money. You actually control your money. You're your own bank. And
Mhm.
that's what decentralized finance is. And then if you want to get a loan or something, maybe you have NFTs of value, you can put that in an NFT bank and get your loan. And there's nobody to tell you, oh, we're not going to give you your loan, or you don't qualify today. What you have, the X's and O's, that is the qualification. It's
Mhm.
also called trustless, which means that they don't have to trust you, you don't have to trust them. Everything is all the technology, and just making sure that the criteria matches,
Mhm.
connect your wallet, whatever, boom, you're up and running. So decentralized finance really empowers us, a lot of everyday people who are not getting anything from their bank. They're not able to grow their money. It's just sitting there. Their bank doesn't even like them. Their bank is charging them fees every time they turn around. And decentralized finance is part of the crypto world with cryptocurrency and your ability to like control your destiny in that way.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. Now I want to switch gears and talk about like how did you get started into like the world of like crypto and NFTs? Like what made you so interested in it? And also where are you originally from as well?
So the originally from part is tricky because I was born an orphan. I don't actually know any blood family.
Mm,
So I was raised. It's pretty difficult life, It's kind of where I came up with Skid Row Crypto because this journey about empowering yourself economically is about people who may be just entirely unable to find economic stability in any other way.
mm,
Crypto is that key. So for me, growing up, I lived a lot of places. I was born in Portland, Oregon, but I've lived in Los Angeles, which I live now. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Miami. I've even lived in England for a couple of years. I've just really moved around a lot because I didn't have really an anchor point of family.
mm,
So it's enabled me to kind of see the world a little bit, but also, this road in DeFi and crypto and Skid Row crypto, it really is about this idea that anyone can find their economic freedom. And so
mm,
this has been about a year long road for me. And even though it seems a lot of people think I've been in crypto much longer, it was really just because I had the ability to apply myself many, many hours while COVID was happening. It was like the world was standing still, and I was able to put
mm,
all this time into learning.
mm,
And I did that learning primarily from a tent. Like a little over a year ago, I was literally living in a tent. I had cancer that kind of broke me economically trying to get cured. And when I finally had those surgeries, was finally able to afford them, I just didn't have any money left. And so then I had to make a decision. Do I want to fall into student loan size debt to my landlord, or do I want to figure this out another way? And because I live in LA, because it's much easier in Los Angeles versus like Baltimore in the dead of winter to live in a tent, I would call it glamour camping. I
Mm,
was on Wi-Fi in my tent. I was watching TV. I
mm,
don't want to make this impression that it's the same thing as people we see sometimes that have no choice. They're just completely down and out. Sometimes their mental faculties are not there. Um, this was definitely more of a conscious choice, and I invested in some equipment that I could basically live outside, live in my tent, have my membership to the gym so I could go shower and change, and I kept all of my things in storage. So I'd basically
mm.
go to the storage unit, get what I needed. It's very, when you say homeless, there's many levels of homeless, and I don't want to take away from what real homeless is because we know what that is. But that's been my journey pretty much.
Mm, mm. Now I want to get into like crypto and the metaverse because that's all the rave right now, and it's getting really, really big. So, how many people do you think really understand the metaverse and crypto? And do you think that people are getting too much in a rush to get into it despite not understanding the aspects of it?
Yeah, for sure. If there was one thing that I would stress to people when we say metaverse, um, some things that are called a metaverse might be a company that built a world.
Mm,
That is a metaverse. But then when you think of the internet and how there's a whole bunch of different websites and they all play on the same internet, that's really what the metaverse is. The metaverse is supposed to be like publicly accessible to everybody, and it will be all these worlds that you can easily go into, that you're not like paying to buy land to participate, and it is not owned by a single entity. That's what the real metaverse is. But the metaverse term is being used so loosely that the one
mm,
thing I would stress is understand that it's kind of this catch-all term. And so when you decide to get involved in the metaverse, oftentimes we're talking about what metaverse? Are you talking about Decentraland? Are you talking about crypto voxels? Are you talking about Sandbox? Are you talking about Alt Space VR? These are all like company owned, centralized metaverses. And the people, the people of the world in general, if you say we the people or whatever, we're trying to build a metaverse that we can all belong to, that there's no barrier for entry economically or whatever. And that will
mm,
come. But as we go in and we start talking about making wearables or anything else, I just want to stress that everyone has to make sure that you understand what version of metaverse you're getting involved in. So if one day you built a whole entire space for yourself, a gallery or whatever, and you look up and there's an email that says, "Oh, we're shutting down this metaverse," then you're going to be like, "Wait, I thought this was the metaverse," when actually it was a company product that you're subscribed to, and it all could be gone potentially. So I want people to just be more careful how they get invested in and where they're invested in, and actually think about being in a little bit of everywhere, because we're so new that what we're going to see is like the MySpace of metaverses going away. We don't know which ones they're going to be. So if you spend too much of your time and attention in a single one, you might find that to be a problem down the road. They may change policies. They may change the whole way the thing works because it's just a company decision. So
mm.
that's the one thing I would say everyone should keep in mind, that there's a wide, accessible metaverse that we're all trying to achieve that is not the same as these separate company worlds.
Mm. That's very, very interesting. Now I want to get into NFTs. So, what do NFTs mean to artists? And is with NFTs, is it something that can help establish their work, like within that universe of NFTs?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like the year that I've been doing this, telling stories of people on the blockchain, I've literally seen people who had nothing wake up and they're millionaires. And it's the craziest thing to see these tweets of people talking about, I could finally buy my mom a house, or like whatever. And I don't want to paint this as like, oh, everybody's going to be rich, because I think that's kind of it. Yes, it's drawing us all in, but we all have to realize, well, we still have to do all this work to build our brand. We still have to like build our awareness machine and like for people, for collectors to be drawn to our work.
Hmm.
But the opportunity is wide open because there's no middleman, and you can essentially make your way and control your own destiny. And so
Right.
NFTs, whether it's just one NFT because you're a one of one artist and you're, a digital artist or a painter or something, or
Right.
if it's one of these fancy collections, they all fall into NFTs. But it's a really wide open space with a lot of potential, and it really depends on how an artist wants to approach it and what kind of NFTs they want to make and what community they engage with that's going to support them. That's the thing. But it really could change your life totally.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Because I like with NFTs, it's not just like 2D art, it's also 3D, it could be music. So the possibilities are
Yes.
endless with NFTs, which is really cool.
Yeah, and to that point, the idea that before, if I was an artist, I'm selling a physical thing. And so there was all these digital artists with all this talent that really had no
Mhm.
way of saying, "Hey, I can sell you this. I can prove to you it's real. I can prove to you that I made it." And not only that, it's all trackable, and now you can sell it to somebody else. So the
Mhm.
technology made it possible. The NFT blockchain technology that's under it made it possible for now people who made intangible art that you can't actually grab and hold in your hand. Now you can
Mhm.
sell it like anybody else, and so that's why this whole wide world's opening. It doesn't change the idea that as a physical artist, you can still get in the world too. You're just figuring out how to like so say this is a sculpture. I could still find a way to make this 3D and sell you an NFT, and in my regular real life, I'm still selling sculptures. So
Mhm.
if for some artists, they found a whole extra revenue stream.
Mhm.
Not that it's the only one, but it's an extra one. And then if you're a digital artist, maybe it is your only one because you had no other way of selling your digital art before.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, I want to read like a small snippet of an article about NFTs from a tech website called The Verge, really quick, and I'll
Awesome.
follow along with a question. So, in terms of with The Verge, they talked about what an NFT is, and they said NFTs can really be anything digital, such as drawings, music, your brand download and turn to an AI. But a lot of the current excitement is around using the tech to sell digital art. So we know that it's bound to the digital realm, but how big can NFTs get?
Oh man, they're going to be everything because what's getting everyone's attention is the art. But
Mhm.
like I mentioned, it's really the technology. So if there's a way to basically
Mhm.
provide the proof that something is valid and real, even though it's digital, and even if I right click that picture, all I have is the picture. I can't sell that art because it's not an NFT, but I could still have the picture in my phone.
Mhm.
Great. Now the art's living everywhere and it can still be sold, and you're not worried about it being stolen because the NFT is the thing.
Mhm.
I made this NFT, somebody owns it, and we can all see it on the blockchain. So it's beautiful for that, but then the technology can be used in a million ways. And over
Mhm.
time, people are going to find new ways to say, how can I use this transparent way of me selling this asset to you, and everyone can see the trail and everyone can see who owns it. And then not only that, the other beautiful thing is if I sell it to you and I've made my money selling it to you, and then you sell it to another person, it automatically, the commission, the artist commission, comes in my wallet. So I wake up in the morning and I have money in my wallet, and I know that somebody that I sold it to the first time sold it to somebody else, and that
Mhm.
10% is now coming to me. So in the real world, if I made a painting or I took this and this is something I sold at an art show, that person buys it and I've got that money. But if they
Mhm.
sell it again to somebody else, I never see that anything from that. So now I'm creating a residual trail where all the art that I make is creating royalty to me, and that's a beautiful thing as well. But it can also be used in many other ways too, even like philanthropically. There's so many different things that are happening with NFTs. And so as more people get involved that are not actually artists, they're just going to look at the technology and go, oh, well, I can use this to do this. And then we're going to start to see way more uses.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, can you give us possibly non-art examples of NFTs, possibly?
Okay, so there are people selling NFTs as like a membership for something. Like over the past weekend, I went to a social event that they called a sober wellness event, where they had a chef cooking, they had wellness drinks, they had sound healing, they had a meditation sessions, and what you used with the NFT is to buy a membership so you can keep going every time they host a new event, and
Mm,
that way it's an electronic membership that they can track. But
mm,
you can also sell that to somebody else. Maybe after 3 or 4 months, you move out of town. Maybe you can't no longer attend the events in LA. I'm going to sell the membership to a different person
mm,
because it can be proven that it's real, proven that it's where it came from, and when you sell it, that person can walk into that event. That makes it a beautiful like transfer of a digital membership to another person. So membership has been one way. Like communities are getting together for many reasons, even like social causes and social good, and
mm,
essentially using the NFTs in that way. So that's one way. And so how they decide the NFT looks, it could still be a piece of art that they're selling as a membership, or
mm.
it could just be a logo of the group. That may not be art in itself. Maybe it's just, hey, this is the logo of the Neo Renaissance group, but you
Right.
bought an NFT. So, or they could say, hey, we want to make the NFT look really cool, so let's get an artist involved and make like a piece of art. So now when you're buying the membership, you're also buying a piece of art. And that's kind of
Mm.
cool too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whatever the NFT is, there's still a visual component and perhaps an audio component. Maybe it even moves. That's where all the artists are coming into this because it's one thing to just sell a digital asset, but it would be nice if it kind of looked cool or, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Now I want to get into the security of it all in terms of NFTs and things like that. So as of recently, there was an article that came out that there was a $600 million heist from the game Axie Infinity. So do
Yeah.
you think that with NFTs getting so big, would it be so big to where there's a possibility that the security of it can be compromised?
Um, Usually the security is compromised in ways that are not actually compromising the blockchain technology. That has been constructed in such a way. It kind of goes back in history a little bit, but all this was someone who remains to this day anonymous. This person
Mm,
named Satoshi who invented this technology. It's pretty
mm,
foolproof. It can't be cracked because of the way the technology works. There's verification nodes. It gets really complicated, so I won't get into that. But the way these things are being compromised is if I put out a collection, or if I put out a game, or if I put out art, all of it has a certain code that you're using to mint it to the blockchain, and people are attacking at the code level. So
mm,
if the developer is not, you know, really experienced, doesn't understand how to protect the code, or if there's a really good hacker, they're going to find these ways to attack people at the use level. You as a
mm,
consumer, maybe your wallet that's connecting, or some way that the, these games are happening. It's not the blockchain technology itself, but it often confuses people into thinking that this stuff is not secure, when in actuality it really is. It's just that they're finding creative ways to hit you personally in some way connected with your computer system, your connection, or your wallet. So to be clear, the blockchain is a solution that's going to be pretty much forever, unless something major happens that's cutting off all electricity in the world or all the ability for computers to talk to each other. That would be a major event. Because even if one of those nodes is up, all of the blockchain is preserved.
mm,
So it's amazing. It's this technology is bringing everyone here because they understand how reliable it is. It's just there's a lot of points to that technology that become the weak points that people are hitting. So so education about blockchain and education about how to interact with these sites, how to protect your wallet and your crypto and your NFTs. That's really what the community needs to focus on, because everyone is being victimized in this level. Maybe they're just jumping into this, they're just learning enough to get started, and they're off to the races, but nobody told them, hey, you need to make sure of these specific things. Hey, make sure you don't give your free seed phrase to everyone. Hey, you may get these weird emails that are telling you something's up with your account. Please reply and do this. Like all that stuff are ways that people are getting tricked because they just don't know any better. Axie Infinity was attacked at their game level, not the blockchain part, but just their coding and the way the game is operating. They have to probably constantly have developers and people on staff to protect it, just the same way in Web2, the American Express website has to constantly keep, these tech people involved, keeping the site up, fighting off hackers and all this. And that's really, the way to look at it. The blockchain is very much reliable.
That's very interesting. Now I want to get into NFTs and copyright. So say, for instance, if I make like a art NFT and someone steals parts of my design, in terms of it being decentralized, is there a way where you can have protection of your NFT, or is there probably isn't any way to have any protection considering that person stole certain aspects of your work that's NFT form?
Yeah. So I'm going to say two things about this. One, the decentralized aspect part is why it's hard to stop. Because I could go on to your art right now and right-click your art and go ahead and mint it, because nobody is in control of whether or not I can mint it or not. So like there's no overseeing body to say, let me make sure that you actually made that. So now all of a sudden it's already minted. But here's the thing. It's hard enough for NFT artists to sell their own art. So imagine what it's like someone stealing your work trying to sell your art. Now, not to say that they can't do it. Maybe they're better at selling it than you. But you have a couple of things going for you. You minted it first. It's on the blockchain. That's your proof that you created it. Not only that, everything that comes from that wallet as you as a creator, when you mint your art, it all tracks to the owner, the creator. They're going to see your entire body of work is the same. You've been doing this thing forever. So when you find your art that has been stolen on a blockchain somewhere else or on OpenSea, you're basically going to go to OpenSea and you're going to say, I need this taken down. It's going to be quite easy for them to do that assessment and see that you're the real artist. So I want people to, even though it's a constant fear, I want you to understand that, like, when you mint first and that indelible thing is there, can never go away. The date is OpenSea knows, or the blockchain knows the date that you put that up, and they also see your body of work being you as the artist. Then the more you're doing that, you have a presence like that, the more protected you are. People are going to be less likely to steal yours because more people know you. They know this is your unique work. But also it's harder for them to sell because, like, it's just harder. And then if there is a dispute, you're going to win. You're going to win because the person who has stolen is probably stealing from other people too. And when they start looking at that account and seeing they've got all this scattered art of different people they're trying to sell, it'll be easy for OpenSea or any other blockchain to go, yeah, this is a perpetrator. We're going to shut all this down and take all this off. So I want you to know that, yes, it may take due diligence on your part, maybe finding this stuff, but don't make it a job going out looking for your stolen stuff. When you put yourself out there more and more, you will find that your fans are going to come to you and say, I saw your art over here. They literally will do that. Like, because people start to know you for the work you're doing. And then now they're protecting you. When they're out looking at art, they're like, wait a minute, I know that's hers, And that's how it works. So I want to say move forward and stay promoting yourself, marketing yourself, selling your art, and let your brand keep growing, and it'll be less likely it's stolen and much easier to protect. That's the way that you do it. Just keep growing in the space. And as these instances come up, then you can fight them. But if you spend all your time worried about it or chasing down what might be theft, it's going to take all of your time and attention from growing your own career,
Absolutely. Now I want to get into more of like, can there be too many NFTs, and how does someone promote their digital products to the masses, especially within the NFT world?
Yeah, the too many NFTs part. We are seeing like a lot of NFTs. I think from what they're saying, I think I was reading a statistic. There are between 1 and 3,000 uh, pieces of art daily being minted, which still
Mm,
seems kind of low because there's so few people that really know about NFTs still. That number is going to go way up. But just think about the real world. There's art being made every day, and there's already enough art for all of us to own like 100 pieces of art already. So
right.
don't look at it as it's too crowded of a market or there's too much competition, because again, you're doing is just honing in on you, what you do, what you create, making sure you're meeting people, introducing people to your work, and just getting in the community, and it's all going to be okay. If people start thinking in this way, like, wow, it's so much of it, how am I going to stand out? It's all going to overwhelm you. Just keep making your daily progress every day. Don't give up. Stay consistent. It's really important. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of art. There really, really is. But it's okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
I want to definitely get into the metaverse, back into that a little bit more. So companies like L'Oreal and Walmart are getting invested in the metaverse. So why do you think these companies are getting so invested in this virtual world of the metaverse?
Yeah. Because of the free money. What I mean by that, what I brought up earlier as an artist, like say I am that sculptor, like I was talking about. I'm creating a whole new revenue stream just because I made NFTs of art I've already been making. So now I have my regular world stuff, and I have now a whole new stream of crypto coming in. That's how they're looking at it. Well, everyone knows L'Oreal. They know all these products. They go in these stores, they buy it. Now we're going to
Mm.
make NFTs, and everyone who loves L'Oreal products are going to want the NFTs. It's just like free extra money. The thing that we all have to focus on is making sure that the little guy is still going to have the ability to succeed here. And all these big
Mhm.
companies coming in, it's making it really noisy and really hard for us to compete. But the one thing these companies cannot do that we do is just talk to people every day and engage collectors in a way um, that they actually like us. You know what I mean?
Right.
They like us and they want to support our work versus, I'm so sorry, I need to kill this call coming in. They like us and they want to support us, and that's something that brands can't really um, compete on the same level. So I think there's going to
Mhm.
be a lot of people that are going to buy into those brand products just for flipping and the idea of turning profit. Whereas you, as an artist, are going to have people that support you because they like you as a human being, because they want to see you succeed as an artist, because they love your art. There's all these different reasons why somebody might buy. So
Mm.
as long as we kind of focus there too, we're going to be okay. But these big companies are coming, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. There's going to be more and more later in this year into next year. It's just a wide open new space. As long as we understand that the market is also for us, we don't need any middle person. We don't need a record label to put it out. We don't need an art agent to put it out. We can actually do our own work and be in charge of our money. That's the beautiful part.
That's very, very interesting. Now,
Yeah.
with the metaverse, like, is it just a Facebook thing, or is it like an all-round virtual world where it's like just a big, big, big platform on the internet?
It is a big, okay, so yeah, kind of back to that conversation about the metaverse. The real idea of the metaverse is almost like the new version of the internet. Like, say you have a website. I can
Mhm.
just go, I can click on the website, I'm reading all about it, I'm looking at pictures. That's your company or your brand or whatever it is. The metaverse is a place. So now instead of a website, now I might be walking into your store because it's like the metaverse version. Maybe you built a little living room and you're selling your art on your wall. Maybe you
Mhm.
made a record store for yourself and all of your music is in there like a record store. You're
Mhm.
literally, now it's a world instead of a website. But if we think of the internet as a thing that anyone can go on and make a website, that's really what the metaverse really, 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 really is. if Decentraland and Sandbox and Crypto Voxels, these are all part of the metaverse, but these are private walled gardens owned by a company that they built. And sure, you can build your world on there, but it is not the same as the open internet type environment. And that's what we're trying to do with the metaverse. We're trying to ensure that they're open. There's an open collective of all of these worlds that are all interchangeable, that we can all operate on, that is not owned by anybody. That's the decentralized aspect. So there's definitely two ways to look at the metaverse. And if we stay clear on that every time we look at a world or decide if we're going to get involved with the world or decide where we're going to put our stuff, just know which one you're on, what you're actually doing. Because, like I said, a company could dissolve overnight. You know?
Yeah, I find that very, very interesting because I've always gotten very curious about, like, okay, this is the metaverse, this virtual world. And I've always wondered, like, how does someone get in the metaverse and like make their own avatar and, sell real estate and, things of that nature. I don't know, what does that whole process entail in terms of like how to get in the metaverse, if you possibly know?
Yeah. Okay. So there are metaverses where already people are buying property for $10,000, $20,000. That's kind of it's kind of discouraging for people who are just starting out, who don't have that kind of money, and they're going, well, how can I get involved in this? But again, you got to remember, that is a company. Decentraland made a world. They said, hey, you can buy land here. It's going to cost you X. And because of the demand, the value keeps going up, just like the real world property. But that's not the only metaverse. That's just their metaverse. You can decide if you can afford it and want to get involved there or not. The real metaverse we're talking about, that's open to everybody, it's more inclusive. There's not this high barrier for entry, and you can go in those spaces and maybe build your own space, maybe build your own gallery, etc. And you don't have to buy a piece of land like that. That's the big thing that confuses most people about the metaverse world. So Crypto Voxels, as a difference, they have what you can buy as land, but then they also have the technology that you can just create your gallery, make a link, and you just shoot right to the gallery. So when I tweet my gallery, you click the link and you're right in my gallery. Are you in a world? No, because I can't leave your gallery and walk down the street of that metaverse. It's just a virtual destination, but that's still the metaverse. So you can build that on Crypto Voxels, and you can have that, and you can bring people to your metaverse. You can throw events there and everything, but you haven't been forced to buy a piece of land in order to participate. That's the difference.
That's very, very interesting.
Yes.
Now, what is something that, what should people pay more attention to, coins or NFTs?
Oh, whoa. Okay, so this is just my opinion. And I got to be careful because I've been encouraging NFTs forever, and they deserve a place here. I kind of stopped buying NFTs so much in the past several months, only because I'm trying to focus elsewhere. And that's not to tell people don't buy NFTs or don't sell NFTs, but there's a broader world of the blockchain and the crypto space for you. So if you're selling NFTs and you're getting crypto, maybe you need to cash it out because you need to live on it. I totally get that. But then there's also the idea that you can grow your crypto for a future ahead of you that you can't see right now, but you might be completely way more financial secure in the future just because of what you did with your crypto when you sold your NFTs. And maybe that will take all the pressure off you from constantly having to keep selling NFTs. We don't know what's going to happen with the market. The more crowded it gets, the harder it is. And so the idea is you can also invest in crypto and let that grow for you. There are things you can do to grow your crypto, and that's what DeFi is. So when I first got in this space, I was selling art. I sold 3 pieces of art, and I had crypto, and then I started to learn what to do with the crypto once I got it. And that's what sent me on the journey of, okay, this is money. I don't want to spend it all. I need to let it grow because the money is actually becoming more valuable. The dollar usually It's just not becoming more valuable. In fact, it's becoming less valuable, what you can buy with it. So it's more valuable to have crypto than a dollar. And once I realized that, I said to myself, well, what can I do to grow this crypto? What are the DeFi things I can do? And the more crypto you get, the more you're able to do things with it that make you even more interest. So you're trying to grow your crypto. I have to also say, while I'm saying this, that I live on crypto too. I'm not homeless anymore. I have this apartment. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm actually living on crypto now, and that's something too. You could actually find a career, maybe even doing what you did in the regular world, doing it in crypto. If I'm a writer, I could be writing for some regular world publication that's paying me in dollars, but I'm writing for crypto publications and they're paying me in crypto. So now I don't have to buy crypto and I don't have to sell NFTs to get crypto. All I have to do is work.
Mm-hmm.
And then as much as I need to pay rent or pay bills, I take that crypto out, but I don't take it all out. So my crypto is slowly, slowly growing. My goal is to never take out more than I'm making so I can grow this for the future. And me being 53, who knows? I might, get sick and die next year. I can have that crypto for my kids that's slowly going to grow. So that's the real deal here is it's not all NFTs. But if NFTs is your entry point, then use it. Sell NFTs. Get the crypto. Start to learn what people are doing with their crypto. When you're in social groups, the social apps, whatever, there's always these people talking about DeFi and investing. It's a treacherous, tricky space because there's also cons and scams, but take your time. First, just worry about growing your crypto more, and you'll slowly start learning about things you can do with it. You'll meet people you can trust more that are talking to you about what they're doing, but all of it is a risk too. I can't say it's not. I do very less risky, more reliable ways of investing my crypto that's not about buying tokens that could totally tank tomorrow. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't have the time to spend to have the knowledge of these coins to be dabbling around and lose this crypto that I've been working so hard to gain. So instead, I do things like staking pools where I can put it into this pool and it's going to just generate interest. And then after 3 months, I bring it back into my wallet with more crypto than I put in there. Stuff like that is a lot more stable.
Mm-hmm. Now in crypto, you have to write a white paper. And there's also another aspect where some of those white papers may not be real. And that's where it gets to the point of it, the term shit coins. And then there's real coins. So what is the difference between shit coins and real coins? But also, what is a white paper?
Okay, so the shitcoin is kind of a broad term too, because some people are applying it to coins that just lost a bunch of people money. But there's also the idea that this is manufactured money. What I mean by that, I was just talking about this in a meeting before I got in here. I said to this guy, Chase, I said, do you realize we're creating money? Like, to make an NFT, and to sell it and to get crypto, if you cash that into dollars, you literally created money that it didn't exist. Like it's one thing to make art and you hand your dollar to me, that's the same dollar that was already made. But when I make art and I make crypto out of it, I'm actually creating money into the world. And that's a really powerful, interesting thing. So I'm trying to get my train back to what you were saying. In general, a lot of these coins they're just fabricated ideas. So somebody will say, yo, we're going to make the duck coin. And suddenly all these people love ducks. So they think that, oh, this coin's going to be awesome. It's a duck coin. But it's a shit coin because it's nothing. They're creating money out of nothing. There's nothing wrong with that if they manage that right. That's where the white paper comes in. The white paper is their plan and strategy for this coin, what they plan to do with it, how it's going to store its value, how they're going to grow it. It's the whole plan for the coin. A lot of people are making up coins just to get you to buy in. They're writing a bullcrap white paper to get you to believe it's like something, and in reality, it's really nothing. They're going to take the money you took that bought the coin, and it's a shit coin. It's going to tank. They never meant it to be anything, and now you've lost money because you bought into this duck coin because you love ducks. Like, all of us have to be careful of that. And that's usually word of mouth, talking to people who really know what they're doing, who are really in the space, who really know who the people are behind the coins. You're like doing your research to understand this is not one of those shit coins. But other coins can go bad too. So it's really a risk, all of it, you know. What we call coins that are more reliable are the coins that are attached to things that have to make it work. Like, for instance, Ethereum is attached to all these marketplaces and all these NFTs. So that's why the value's there so high. And it's not ever going to just go away because there's all these real assets attached to it. Art, real stuff. People are buying, selling, trading. Some of these coins aren't attached to anything. And that's why they call it a meme coin or a shit coin. Where if some important person goes on the news and says something and everyone's confidence is down and they start selling it, suddenly the whole thing tanks because there's nothing it's really built on to anchor it, like a marketplace or, you know, products, etc. So the coins that are attached to metaverses, the coins that are attached to NFT markets, these are the coins that are more reliable, and they're the ones that people tend to buy into more. Even though they are still going up and down, they're far less likely to just tank and you lose everything. Now, some people buy into the shitcoin because they know it's on its way up and they know they're going to be able to make some money, and then they get out before it tanks. There's a whole technique of that. And that's why some people are into shitcoins, because they just understand how they work and they understand, okay, I see where it is in the cycle and I can take advantage of this moment, this window of opportunity, and then I'm going to quickly swap in 2 days or a month or whatever it is, and I'm actually going to make money, bring that money back into, and now maybe I put that into a more stable, reliable coin. All I did is get some capital gains. So there's a lot of people playing with the shitcoin market as a way to up their own coinage. And it's a gamble, and you're trying to get out before you lose it.
Now, it seems like all these things like crypto, the metaverse, and NFTs are all a part of this another aspect of the internet called Web3. For people who don't know what Web3 is, what does Web3 entail?
So Web3 is where the blockchain technology is attached. So now with the Web3 website, if I go to your site, I can connect my wallet, and I'm doing crypto things now. I'm able to maybe buy something off the site, mint something off the site. Maybe it's a membership I'm signing up with my wallet. Maybe it's verifying that I am already a member. Web3 is where the blockchain meets the internet. Where all the Web2 companies, whenever you hear Web2, that's literally just the platform that is not integrated with the crypto space. So all the Web2 regular companies are most every internet website you're going to find, because all that's Web2. But if I go to, OpenSea, that's Web3, because I'm connecting my wallet. It now knows who I am in a different way, and I'm doing transactions and things that are all recorded and all transparently available for anyone who wants to look at the blockchain ledger and see what is happening. That's Web3.
That's really, really interesting. Now, I want to get into like when NFTs, crypto, and the metaverse become very, very common, very, very big and popular, what would that world look like? And I don't know if you've seen the movie called Ready Player One. It's a really cool movie. And is that a good reference just in terms of this whole virtual world, in terms of like NFTs, crypto, the metaverse, and just how big it's getting?
I mean, it's interesting because I had an Oculus when I was in my tent. I had sold those NFTs and I bought an Oculus. From my tent on Skid Row, I was on the other side of the world at a resort doing this meditative gathering. So if we're talking about Ready Player One, and the world around us, for a lot of us, is not that great, or maybe we don't have a lot of money, or maybe where we live is just depressing, whatever the case, if going into this thing is better than the real world, then we're going to see something like Ready Player One, where everyone's going to want to go into the metaverse because everything's bright and clean and all my friends are there and I can buy stuff and I can see a performance by my favorite artist and they never come to my town. Like,
Mhm.
it's kind of creating this ability for anybody anywhere to connect with anybody else, maybe not physically, but as close to physically as possible. And so I do foresee a time when more and more time will be spent in the metaverse, because I think the metaverse to a lot of people is going to be better than their regular life. And that's kind of sad to say. But, with economics the way they are, or access or whatever, the metaverse is going to be more and more important to people. Whether you put the goggles on or you
Mhm.
just go on your phone, because in crypto voxels, you can go in their world on a desktop or a mobile phone. You don't need the goggles. So it's much more engaging. It's just everyone is engaged in a different way. And so I think as this evolves, the metaverse is going to be like more and more a part of our everyday life. Or like you'll see some movies now where they're looking at the future, where there's a lot of augmented reality, where like I walk, to a space and I do something and now this image is there, or I'm swiping like this with my hand. All these things are going to be, so what they call XR is like the real world and AR combined, where it's right here, even though I'm standing in the real world, the hologram is here, or everybody in the room can see this thing. That's like XR. It's like the cross between real world and sort of like augmented reality and metaverse. And then you have your real metaverse, where you're literally digitally going inside. I have an avatar. Maybe I put clothes on my avatar. That's also, that's actually what the real metaverse is. So we have a lot of talk around wearables now. People want to identify themselves in a way that now I can go in these worlds and you can tell it's me. You can see it's me because I wear the same type of stuff I wear in the real world. Or look at me, I have a Supreme hat, or like
Mhm.
whatever it's going to be. A Supreme hat as a wearable might be hundreds less than a real Supreme hat.
Mhm.
Could be. So now more people can own Supreme maybe in the metaverse if they make it that way. So like, if it's easier and better and your life is better in the metaverse, then it's going to draw everybody to the metaverse, where everything is better, happier, brighter, cleaner. Maybe that's where we're going.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Now, in terms of Web3, I have another question in terms of Web3. So, in terms of Web3, is it too late for people to jump on board in terms of understanding Web3? Like, how big do you think Web3 is going to get in years to come?
It's gonna be everything. I think Web 2 is gonna pretty much go away. The internet as we know it now will go away. Because as you see all these big companies coming in, why would you go to the American Express website when you can walk in the American Express office in the metaverse and
Mm,
handle what you need to handle? So it's all going to be just way better. It's just a better, more engaged version of the regular internet. So
mm,
as Web3 grows, it's going to just become everything. And Web2 will just be the older technology of like what we used to do, going in websites, like that thing. It's
mm.
now, why go into chat rooms when you can just stand with your avatar and everybody's talking now? Because you're still chatting in the metaverse. I'm
Right.
still chatting with your avatar by DM or whatever in there. Or we can still have a group discussion, but now we're all looking at each other or walking around in a space or looking at art or watching a show. So, like, it's just going to be the extension of what we've all known. And pretty soon, it might be 10, 15 years, you're going to be telling some little kid, I remember when we had the internet. And they're going to be like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm like
Right.
going in the metaverse right now. So, like, it's early. It's just beginning, you guys. It's just beginning. These companies are just going in. You brought up L'Oreal and stuff. It's the beginning. I think
Right.
the last stat that I heard, only like 2% or 3% of the whole world is even involved in this stuff. That it's
Wow.
so early that most people you talk to don't really understand what's going on. They don't know what NFTs are. They don't know what this crypto stuff is. I'm sure they may have heard it now, but they're still like, well, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. There will
Mm,
be a time when almost everybody knows what it is and almost everybody is using it. I don't know how long that's going to take. 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, we don't know, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Time will tell.
I will say what will help it, more people like us, people
Mhm.
of color, and people bringing the cool points. Because what
Right.
I mean by that, right now, it's all techie and all the tech people are involved, and that's great. But until it gets cool to be there, until you see Jay-Z performing, or whatever, people that are influential, that are helping regular people want to get involved, that's the cool point factor that I feel. So I feel like black culture, hip hop culture. We control culture. What we
Right.
do, what we say, they start saying it. So when we
Right.
start going in and we say it's cool, everybody's going to want to come there because we're actually the ones that people want to follow. The everyday people that decide what's cool, what is in style, what is whatever. We're not really there yet like that, the everyday us. But when we get there, it's going to bring everybody in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. And
What you're
especially
doing is you're facilitating it. You literally are, because people are watching these interviews and they're learning and they're getting involved. So you're going to be part of why the metaverse blew up.
wow, that's really, really cool. And especially with the metaverse, like, in the industry I'm in, like in the beauty industry, and I'm also into fashion. Like there are some people that are doing fashion in the metaverse and people doing fashion as NFTs, like fashion designs, like 3D
Yes.
fashion designs and things like that. So it's really amazing to see how big this platform is getting.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. These companies that are coming in the metaverse that are fashion brands, it's the same thing that I was talking about with L'Oreal. All they're doing is taking what they have in the real world and putting it in the metaverse. That's not very forward thinking. They just want to sell more stuff.
Right.
What we're seeing is people like us are
Mhm.
reimagining what people look like in the metaverse. I'm starting to see, like, the other day, I literally saw someone
Mhm.
walking around as a fish. That they had a fish head, or because what is fashion and style? It's up to us to reinvent it.
Right.
Now in the metaverse, you don't have to do everything looking exactly like a human being. Why
Right.
should you? So as we get more
Mhm.
creative, the real cool points people are going to come in, and we're going to change what style is. These brands that are coming in, bringing their fashion, they're going to be totally out of. They totally don't get it because all they're trying to do is sell you the digital version of this thing they made over here. Whereas
Right.
when we come in, we're going to innovate. We're going to be like, yo, instead of sneakers, I'm going to have like little rockets on my feet or something, and I'm going to shoot down the street. That's us. And then they're
Mhm.
going to be going, oh man, well, we thought we were selling you these shoes, but now we realize nobody even wants regular shoes.
Right.
Like it's all up to imagination. And so, your style ideas, your fashion ideas, your community, people of color that are going to come into space and totally re-envision stuff. That's where we're going. And these companies are not going to have the hold that they have because nobody's going to want that boring stuff. Why would you
Right.
want that? But right now, they're trying to get their grip, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, last but not least, what are some things you could recommend in terms for someone who wants to understand NFTs, crypto, Web3, and things of that nature? Anything in terms of the virtual world and also the metaverse as well.
Wow, this is one of the most troubling parts of all this. I feel like right now, I wish there were places I could go and be like, this is your education. As much as you want to spend time watching videos or reading, you're going to learn everything you need to know right here. Uh, we really don't have that. And what we have now are people learning hands on. They're learning by getting in the community and clubhouse or whatever and talking to people. Then they make friends. And then those people are showing them how to do things
Right.
without this kind of big formal space of like, these are the things you need to know. And one of the reasons why is because everything's moving so fast that if you decided to make a
Hmm.
manual or training, it would be just outdated so quickly. So unfortunately, the best answer I can actually give is like get involved and get contact and ask people questions that you know that are already doing things in the space. And if you don't know anybody that's already in it doing things, find your way into Clubhouse. I think that's the easiest spot because you can go in those rooms and just listen for weeks if you want before you even say anything. That's what I did. Like I listened for a long time and then I heard other people ask questions to give me my answers and then they're constantly referring, "Oh, go to this link for this, learn this over here." So it's
Mm,
all kind of scattered, but the way to tap in is really to tap into the community. And then also as an NFT artist, that's also how you're going to sell your art anyway. You're going to get to know people. They're going to see what you're doing. Oh, you want to learn 3D to do that? Okay, well, go talk to this person. You'll get your referrals, you'll get your connect, and then you're going to build your own little community. And
mm.
that's going to be your way of learning and knowing things also.
Yeah, that's the thing. I could totally agree. Like also too with like Clubhouse, because I've been going into the NFT meetings and learning more about NFTs and crypto and how this stuff is involved within the metaverse and this whole virtual platform. So I'm still learning about NFTs and getting more of an understanding of it because that's something I definitely would like to get involved in is NFTs.
Yeah, yeah, and you can. This idea of people being late, like I just try to just push back on that all the time. We're so early. We're so early, man. We're
Right.
so early. Like anybody thinking or getting in now, yo, just one day at a time. There's no rush, but if you
Right.
commit yourself to just learning a little bit all the time, you're going to be fine. You're ahead of the whole world right now. Like literally. Even though it seems like there's so much going on already, it's just such a small percentage of like what's
Mhm.
really happening. Like these are all just people who maybe got in a year or more before you. Like I'm only a year in and I'm talking to you like I just know everything, but it's I just learned a lot in 1 year. So the
Mhm.
people that have been in this space since 2017, I'm always asking them questions because they've been around now for 5 years. But if you
Mhm.
really look at it, all of this stuff wasn't blowing up then. It was just a very small community of people in 2017, in 2012, when kind of all this really took off. Like
Mhm.
now is the big time when everybody's coming in. And so you're part of that. And we are the first wave. So
Mhm.
yeah, just get it out of your head that it's too late or, I'm not going to be able to, get in or, yeah, take all of that out of your brain.
Mhm. And what I find very interesting also too, there's like physical like events you can go to, learning about NFTs, like whether it's in LA,
Yes.
New York. And I like how, these communities are really coming together. This NFT community is getting together and just learning more about the space. That's just
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah. Here in LA, we have Crypto Mondays, NFT Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So there's at least 3 days a week that I know there are gatherings that people keep coming to every week, and it's been getting bigger, from 50 or so to double that now. And people are just getting together. Now you have a group of people that are all in it. So when you
Mhm.
plug into that and you're asking questions and you're meeting people in real life, they're going to be like, "Oh, take my number, take my Twitter, contact me. I'll help you do this thing." Or, "Oh, you want to learn this?" Or, "Oh, you want to figure out how to get this wallet?" Everybody's so helpful that it really is tapping in the community. Now, if you're in a place that doesn't have a vibrant, like physical NFT community, that's where going online will help you.
Mhm.
If you're in some obscure small town or some state that it just seems like nobody around you knows crypto or anything, that's where going online is going to be that community for you. But if you're somewhere where there's also physical meetups, then you get involved in those people because they're meeting you in person. It's a more meaningful connection, and you'll make really good friends and alliances, and maybe even collaborators.
Yeah,
If you want to take, your thing and make this 3D, do you actually learn how to render in 3D, or do you collaborate with somebody you met somewhere that already knows how to do 3D, and they're going to collaborate with you to make this into the 3D thing? Like
absolutely.
you can either learn the thing or you can collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm in the DC area. I'm from Maryland, so I
Okay.
go to like different more so online, like whether it's Clubhouse. I just joined this other space called Connect Club, where there's
Nice.
spaces where they talk about like NFTs, the metaverse, and things of that nature. So those are definitely helpful.
Yeah, and I just joined Connect Club yesterday, so that's awesome.
It's really, really cool. Now, where can people find you on social media, and how can people like connect with you in terms of like any questions pertaining to NFTs, crypto, Web3, anything of that nature?
Skid Row Crypto is pretty much my username for everything. So that's my Instagram, it's my Twitter, it's my Clubhouse, it's like practically every platform. So wherever, even if you Googled, you would find my LinkedIn. So I basically get contacted through any platform, and I respond to everything. As a journalist, it's my job to do that. So, like, I literally, there's no message I do not reply to. Um, it sometimes it gets hard because so many messages come through. So all
Mhm.
I usually say is, instead of just saying that, starting out by saying hello, hello, how are you, how are you, like, just hello, my name is whatever and I want to ask you this, and just put it all in the first one so I can
Mhm.
actually get the conversation going, because
Right.
sometimes I skip past the ones that I realize, oh, it's going to take a few back and forth to even know what the person wants.
Hmm.
Sometimes it frustrates me. So, like, just, come into that, introduce yourself, ask me whatever question, and I'm going to be right on it. I'll answer you. So
All right,
that
cool.
kind of goes for everybody. That's kind of a tip, because
Okay.
people are so busy in the space that you almost, in your intro, you need to lay out what you need and everything all in that message so they can read it and they can just reply right then. So a lot of us take those messages that require more thought and we just move them. Oh, I'll get to it later. But then it gets
Right.
buried in other messages through all these platforms. And then sometimes I forget, wait, did they message me through Twitter? Did they message me through here, through there? And then I
Right.
can't even find it anymore. So if you do the query really good, then you're going to get more responses. And if people feel like, hey, I've been writing them people and they're not writing me back, just think about how you actually do the approach, that first message, and make
Right.
it really clear, and you'll get better results.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Micah, for jumping onto the
Thank
show.
you.
I love learning about all this stuff because like I said, I'm still learning about NFTs and crypto and the metaverse, and it's a really, really cool thing to see how people are jumping on this. And I believe definitely that it's going to get really, really huge. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the time. And you're really good at this. You have a talent. You're asking really good questions. So you're really serving the community, and I want to give you flowers for that.
All right.
So
Thank you so much. Take care.
thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, asiaticbird.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.